Are you tired of having to deal with dev error 6068 or any other type of dev error in Modern Warfare not remaster, you fucking idiot. Well, today I'll show you how, after a word from our sponsor, Rage. I'm just fucking kidding. Why would they sponsor me? I haven't uploaded in over a year. I'm such a piece of shit. Why would they why would they even why? So, yes, I know I have uploaded in over a year, but what can you do? I haven't really been recording or doing anything, so I hope that this whatever video is will help you guys out. So this is, I'm going to be teaching you how to possibly fix dev error 6068 and other errors as well. So the first thing that you want to make sure is that if you have a computer tower, meaning that you either bought a pre-built or you have built your own, you want to make sure that your GPU is seated properly and that the power cable is properly seated on the GPU and power supply. Next, make sure that your RAM is seated properly. If you have 4 or more slots and you have RAM alternating in between, make sure that you have properly put it in the right slot to make sure it's running in dual channel. You also want to make sure that if if one RAM slot is if one RAM stick isn't properly seated, do so, reseat it all. And maybe swap around your RAM. Alternate between slots 2 and 4 or 1 and 2 if your cooler allows it. I have an NZXT cooler which it protrudes out a little bit, so I can't use the slot closest to the CPU. Yeah. Next, you also want to try just running the game with one RAM slot populated and see if it's either your RAM or one of your slots that's going bad. If you have any overclocks going, make sure that that is disabled as well, especially your GPU, because Modern Warfare for whatever reason does not like overclocks on the GPU. I have my CPU overclocked to 4.0. I know it's not very high, but yeah, I have my CPU. It's a 7700K on an Asus Z170 with 16 gigs of RAM and a 1070 Asus Strix ROG. But yeah, turn off your overclocks as well. The biggest, I would want to say that the biggest culprit of any game crashing would be any overlays that you have enabled, especially NVIDIA, MSI Afterburner. I've been successful in having Afterburner running in the background, mainly for my fan speed control. But anything like NVIDIA GeForce Experience or NZXT Cam or Asus GPU tweak, any type of overlay, disable it, because that will crash your game for whatever reason. Next, you would want to set your game to high priority. I don't have anything else running in the background, but let's say I want to make the Blizzard app high priority. So you would just go to details, and then you would go to you would scroll down till you see Modern Warfare, and it's just Modern Warfare.exe, so it'd be like around here. So let's just use Discord. We would set priority to high. There is a tweak that I have installed. I'll see if I can link it down below, that will permanently set the game to high priority so that you don't have to go back in every time to change it anytime that it crashes or any other time. It permanently sets it to whatever setting that you set. Next, you want to make sure that you update Windows fully. So we go to our settings and we go to update and security, and we go here, we check for update. Sometimes there'll be an optional update that won't install with the update with the version of Windows that is currently running on your computer. So make sure that you install any and all updates for Windows. Next, you want to make sure that your drivers are up to date. Make sure that your drivers are up to date. I've tried this in the past, and it would always crash on me as well. So what I would recommend is clean installing your driver. So for whatever reason, through GeForce experience, it would always crash. So I would have to go to NVIDIA's website, NVIDIA drivers, and right here, download drivers, and then select whatever graphics card it is, download it, and do a clean installation of that. So while you were trying to figure out what drivers to install, I would recommend going as far back as the Warzone drivers. For my friend, it worked perfectly fine. He's still, I believe, on the Warzone driver, and he did a clean install of the Warzone driver, and it is completely crash free, because he would have trouble for when he would use the scroll wheel on his keyboard to increase the volume or decrease. His screen would go black, and then the game would crash. So he's on that. I am on the latest NVIDIA drivers, and I haven't had any trouble whatsoever, performance issues or anything like that. Obviously, I'm pretty sure that you've heard it a million times while trying to figure out what to do when your game is crashing. In game, turn down the particle effects to low, and turn down the particle effect lighting to low as well. If it's asking you to run it in safe mode, go ahead and do that, just to guarantee that it is running on the lowest settings possible. And then what I did was I went cranking my in-game settings as I was playing the matches to see what kind of performance hit I would take, or to find the settings that worked best for me. Another popular fix would be to go through the Modern Warfare settings in the Blizzard app, and then toggle additional command line arguments, which the command line argument would be DirectX or D311 or something like that. Do not run the game in DirectX 11, because for me and for a bunch of people that have told me that this works, they would also come back and tell me that it crashed. So a couple of friends of mine would toggle this command, and they would say that it didn't work. And on the subreddit as well, there were a bunch of people that said that it didn't work. So don't even try running it in DirectX 11, just because it's not meant to be run in DirectX 11. So you will not, if it does end up working, you will take a performance hit, and I'm pretty sure that all of us wants the best performance out of the game with our whatever hardware that we're using. Another thing that people say tends to crash their game, and this one specifically comes from my friend, is hitting the Windows key. For whatever reason, that tends to count as an overlay in game, and it would completely crash his game from what he would tell me. So as well in the subreddits, there are some people saying that the Windows key crashes their game if they press it. So if you can, lock the Windows key. If not, then I'm pretty sure that there is a solution out there to disable your Windows key for however long you're playing the game. Excuse me. So I believe that's it. If you have any other possible solutions, leave it down in the comments. But yeah, I hope this helps resolve your issues. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys whenever I upload again.